everybody's doing alright tonight. Yeah. So how is everybody? Hope everybody's fine. Hope you guys are having a good, well, Monday evening, I guess now, is what we'll call it. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate that, man. Guys, believe it or not, hey, Isaiah, Granny, how you doing? Wolf, what's up, Wolfie? Angelo, Boogie Down Bronx, I seen your earlier comment. Sparky, what's up? Yeah, guys, you know, when I do those intros and stuff, I just think it, you know, I think it kind of adds to the channel a little bit. I try to do the best I can with that, you know. Menacing, what's up? Anybody that's been with me since the beginning of my channel, they could probably think back to like one of my earlier videos where I was using my cell phone and recording in vertical mode, doing my videos that way. Obviously, I'm leaps and bounds past that now, but it's taken a while for me to get where I'm at, you know, and I'm, you know, just trying to make it a little bit more a positive environment for, you know, for people to come here and listen and see what we got going on here. People that's never been exposed to this kind of thing, you know, this kind of, how can we say this, subject, I guess we'll just call it that. Sometimes it takes, you know, intros like that to kind of grab them and at least get them in there so they'll listen to you. You know, and what happens after that is just what happens. But and I understand people that don't have the equipment or the software or whatever for that kind of thing. But what I will say, anybody running channels, there are so many free apps out there. Up until about 2 months ago, I ran my channel, guys, exclusively on my phone. Including the intros. So there is stuff out there that's free that doesn't cost much, but there's, you know, like you can get what's called vMix and you can pay for the VIP. It's not that expensive. It's like $3 a month. It's stuff like that, and that really makes a big difference in what you can do with your intros. So hope everybody likes that. I hope they, you know, I do try to bring a smile. Hey Jerry, Queen. Christine, good to see you in here, guys. I seen Missy up here at the beginning. Shits and giggles, what's up? Daryl, just saying hi to everybody real quick. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and get into this, guys. I'll give you a little update on space weather and the things that, you know, it's in my thumbnail here. You know, some earthquake stuff that was really kind of odd that I hadn't seen, you know, really happen before. Oh, where's Ron? Guess what, guys? I actually emailed him, or texted him, Isaiah Granny. IG is what I call you, in case people don't know that. He's having audio issues with his equipment. And because I sent him what I'm getting ready to show you guys. Because I didn't know what was going on, and I still don't. But we'll get to that very, very shortly here. I'm not going to make you guys wait on that. I'm just going to do a little bit of a space weather update real quick first, and then we'll get into that. And anybody who wants to hang around, I'm going to be heading over to Mark's channel after this. So come over and have some laughs with us and check it out. Yeah, I think it's kind of stressing him out too, guys. So throwing some prayers and some good energy over there, because, man, it sucks when you have technical issues. It really does. But I'm going to put the chat away, guys. Mods, that's cool. If you guys could take care of it for me. Yeah, Daz a goodie. Yeah, there's some West Coast stuff going on here. And I'll show it to you guys here in just a second. But here is the Schumann update here. Guys, it hasn't updated since I showed you guys this morning. It's kind of strange. So I don't know what's going on with this, okay? Just so, well, nope, there it did. Wow, they must have just dropped that in there, because it wasn't like that earlier. Anyway, nothing's really happening except for one little small spike right there. So, you know, we had this horizontal feature. I already talked about that in my previous video. So if you guys are getting ringing in your ears and stuff like that, that could definitely be this. And we all know that frequency is everything. It affects everything. So that's why we talk about it. So when this thing does spike, I will most definitely show it to you, and we'll talk about it more in depth But I'm not going to waste too much time, sticking here and talking about it when nothing's going on with it, okay? But I'll show it to you every video, I always do. I think it's that important. Okay, space weather. This is Space Weather Prediction Center, and this is where I always take you guys, right? So you see how, the baseline's right at a B flare, okay? And the reason is because we do have some active areas on the sun. And one of them, we had a sunspot rotate off. Now, we've had a full day with no official sunspots. So it kind of broke that streak. And I'll explain more when we go look at the sun captures. But it doesn't mean that there ain't activity or spots on the sun we don't need to be looking at, because stuff is already doing things. And I'll show it to you guys here in a minute. We had a pretty good filament release off the northern hemisphere of the sun. And the CME detector hasn't updated yet. So I can't tell you if it's coming at us. Because it is coming off at an angle, and we could catch a glancing blow from it. So, but geomagnetically right now, guys, if this continues, we'll be back up into a cosmic ray issue. Radiation gets in easier when we don't have enough geomagnetic activity in our atmosphere. We need some of those charged particles. That's just a fact. We want to be right in the middle. It's a tight line we got to walk. It's amazing how, our universe and everything just works that way. But it's, like I said, we're right there in that spot where that's why we're all here. Okay? So, yeah. Okay. Now, obviously, we'll go down, we'll look at the sun here in a minute. I'm not going to go to that one tonight. But we'll go here first with the ACE data. First thing you can notice here, guys, is the phi angle. It's doing its polarity flip. Okay, it does it every, whenever it wants to, I guess. Just whenever it feels like it needs to. But I've seen it jump, I've seen it reverse polarity multiple times in a row. And each time it does that, sometimes we get a little jolt on our magnetosphere, our magnetic field. It'll give us a little bit of geomagnetic activity. Whenever it does that and we're getting impacted with the CME or something at the same time, it will add a little extra punch to it. But other than that, that's what's causing that. Now the BZ, it's hanging right in the middle, which means it's not negative, which is good for us. Because when it's in the negative, like I said, the angle of that is actually drawing the particles in. Okay? It's inducive for that. Now, if it's in the positive, it's actually doing the opposite. The angle isn't good for it. So that's what that means. So just kind of remember, without going into big technical details here, if it's in the negative, that's when the energy's getting in a lot easier. Now, density. You see how we're having a spike right here. I guess I don't want to call it a spike. It's more like a slow increase, because that's what it's doing. So in my opinion, typically when we see that, it's usually from like a coronal hole. Notice that the wind speed, the speed itself is also doing the same. Now that isn't really moving a whole lot. Look at our range over here again. Okay, we're 260 to 360. We're hanging at or below 300. Now notice earlier on today, we had some other readings. See what happened when the solar wind spiked? The density went down. And the reason why is because the particles are moving faster, so they're grabbing some of the material as it passes our planet, and it flushes it out. It's called flushing. So it kind of makes all, some of those particles aren't there anymore. So obviously I'd be less dense. Now the temperature, it's kind of hanging on, pretty low too. Now, the Enlil model. This thing has changed like 4 times in an hour. And that's why, guys, I say it's a good thing because it is, but it's frustrating when we're trying to figure out what's going to be happening. So what you're looking at is the density up here, right? So I bring it to where we're at in time right now, which is right about here. Okay, we're right about, we're probably more like here. Okay, so if you look over here on the side, this is the sideways view. This is a top-down view. This is looking at the sun and the earth from the side. So that would be what we would call south of the earth. Okay, at that angle. That would be north, that kind of thing. This one is a top-down view, and that's how we can tell east-west. Right? So if we look over here, you can see how we're going to, this model thinks we're going to have a steady increase, and this is kind of supporting that. Okay, so I think that's what's probably going to happen. Now, as we get closer to here, which would be about less than 24 hours from now, okay, or right at 24 hours, this time tomorrow, we should be experiencing an uptick in density enough to where we'll start seeing some pretty decent impacts on our magnetosphere. See, because watch here on the side view, you'll be able to see that. Okay, now earlier, about a half hour, 45 minutes ago, the red and the gray, even the gray, was stretched out and it was clipping us. So this could change again. So we have to keep an eye on this. Now, as you see, as it passes our planet, see how it's getting white and gray? So we're moving up on the chart there as those colors, come about. Notice there's like two specific sections, probably coronal holes, and maybe even like a CME that was kind of, maybe we didn't see it or something like that. You can see kind of like a void here. Something's pushing that out. It's not like the typical solar wind streams we see right here. Okay? But what's happened is this thing blew off the sun, and then this caught up with it, and they kind of combined. That happens often. And when it does that, the interplanetary magnetic, interplanetary shock wave is what they call it. The electromagnetic fields of those particles start reacting with each other as one catches up to the slower one in front of it. And it causes a shock wave. And you get a little extra jolt or a little bit of extra energy. They don't actually collide with each other. Now they can, and they do sometimes, but not in this instance. In this instance, most of them are, the magnetic fields are actually kind of repelling each other. And we see that a lot. Now, they seen it for the first time about a year ago, and they were able to document it. But something else I want to say here, guys, get the increase in density. See what our wind speed did? It stays low, right? Well, look what happens now. The density starts dropping off, but now we're getting an increase in speed, which is what really we would expect, but this is kind of, it's a little bit more than a normal increase, okay? So what I'm saying is, as the density hits us back here, we could take a hit on our magnetosphere. Now, as the density starts to drop out, the speed picks up, so now the speed itself could actually keep us into some sort of geomagnetic issue. So that's kind of what we're seeing right here. Now, if this one was up and this one was up at the same time, say this thing looked identical and it was coming at us, so that would mean that we were going to take a pretty decent hit. Now, something else here, if you look at this, we really didn't miss this by much, guys. I mean, that thing, that's pretty close. So, like I said, we are still catching a glancing blow from it. So, as things start to pick up in the solar cycle, this is what we're going to see. Okay? Anyway, the electron flux, obviously, we got electrons moving around right now. It really should look more like this model down here. Okay? So, when it starts looking like little spikes and stuff happening here, that means the electrons are on the move. Either decreasing or increasing, whatever, right? Things are moving around. I'm not going to show you the aurora because nothing's going on there. It's pretty slow over there that way because nothing's happening right now on our planet. The absorption rate here, we're not going to see much of anything here either, I don't think. I already did this earlier. I'm just going to double check it. Yeah, nothing's happening there, so that means that we haven't had any flares. And, I said that already because of this. If we'd have had flares, we'd have seen it here. So, there's that. This is something else too, guys. Remember I said, we're in a slow solar wind speed area right now. And it seems to be happening more and more often. And for me, that's kind of strange because as solar activity starts to move towards solar maximum, You know, it's going to take it years to get there, but we should start seeing a more increase in all of this stuff, and we're not really seeing it. Matter of fact, things are, you know, this is like our third event that means that we're slow. You know, we're down here, you know, not even breaking 300 kilometers per second. That is below normal. And like I said, we want to walk that line. We don't want the real slow stuff or the real fast stuff. We want the stuff in the middle. And so both can be, you know, detrimental to what we got going on. Now, guys, I'm going to, like I said earlier in a previous video, this is what I call the bird anomaly. Okay? I think Body and Soul seen it at the same time as I did. You see how it kind of looks like a little beak here if you kind of turn this on the side. I started noticing this. You guys remember me talking about it, and it was always down here, right? So, you know, as we grab this, then we see that side do it a little bit this time. Doesn't always, though. Most of the time we've been seeing it, it's been down here, and this is a solid white up here. So things are still moving around. It's just not, you know, symmetric. So, you know, there's a little bit of hitting going on there, but not a whole lot. But we're still having, you know, this little void here. And I don't know what's causing it. But this here's the pressure. Again, you'll see it's a little different down here than what it is up here. Also, I've been asked about this tilt. This is most definitely normal. We see this all the time. Okay, this is magnetics. Things can move fairly quickly magnetically. Okay, our planet isn't moving. Okay, it's the magnetics that are actually moving. And really, this is, you know, like I said, it's not really our magnetic field itself moving. It's the way we're getting hit and reacting. It's causing us to try to protect ourselves at that angle. Also, you know, sometimes if we're below the ecliptic of the sun, if you don't know what the ecliptic of the sun is, it's the sun's equator stretched. If you took the sun's equator and stretched it out over the whole solar system and drew a line, that's called the ecliptic. So if you're above it or below it, that's what we call above or below the ecliptic. It just lets us, you know, have a better navigational point to be able to explain it to people what position we actually are holding at the, you know, at the present time in our orbit. So if we're above or below, you know, we're going to say that. So if we're below, you know, we're kind of, you know, tilted this direction, it kind of makes sense because we are connected to the sun, right? With the interplanetary magnetic field line. Everything is. Even the satellites are connected, guys. Okay. Let me show you this filament that did blow off the sun, I believe. It's actually, you know, it's a pretty decent sized one. And again, the CME tracker has not picked it up yet. It's up here. And it's kind of strange because nothing's going on up here. And it goes to show, you don't have to have a big sunspot down here to have a filament actually raise up and go across the surface. And I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to push play here and we're going to watch it. Okay, it's starting right here, but watch the dark here. You see how it rotated through like this? It went from like here, it was stretched out about that big, and it moved this direction, and it looked like some of that escaped. So if some of that filament escaped, that would be a CME or a solar storm, whatever you want to call that. Now that's on the Earth's side, but I can't tell if it actually some of that released off or not, because the sun itself is kind of blocking, it's camouflaging those things. We can't see it very well. And we got some solar rain over here on this other sunspot too. We'll check that out real quick here too. Again, all that is, it's plasma going back down to the surface. You see that? They call it solar rain. It's not really rain. Now, did you see that? That was an ejection. Watch. It's going to happen right here. I'll leave my cursor there. Now we're getting the rain. Now here come the little bit of an ejection. There it went. You see that? That's a pretty decent sized looking little ejection there. I don't think it's coming at us, But this sunspot is now off the limb of the sun. It's not facing Earth anymore, so it's not giving us any weather. This one is directly facing us right now. It is not a sunspot. It's just an active area. It does not have the proper characteristics yet, or actually lost it, because I think this was a sunspot at one point. Now this bigger area over here is, where my eye goes, because this is a fairly large area. Now as it rotates on, towards Earth facing, if it holds some characteristics, they will give this a number. But right now they haven't given it a number. Okay? So, with that filament releasing, guys, if it comes at us, that would be a solar storm, and we'll see geomagnetic hits on that. It'll affect this, our magnetopoles and our magnetic field. Okay? We could get into storm level. That's always a chance when that stuff comes at us. Alright? So if we look at this, and I already showed you the other magnetopoles models. So what I'll do is I'll just grab it, and here we go. You see how we got some, pretty decent energy going on here. Okay, we kind of compressed there a little bit. Things are kind of staying in the same position because, we're kind of being held there. If we're getting constant flow and it's not waves of fluctuant density or fluctuant speed, we're not going to see this thing bouncing around. It's going to be a more consistent position. But that doesn't mean we're not getting energy from that. It most definitely doesn't mean that. Now check this out. This is a good way to show you guys this. You see how we got some yellow in between here and that red here? Alright, that's basically showing you temperature. Okay? There should be a little bit of a yellow between that. These are closed field lines. Okay? We got the IMF lines, which are the blue. It's our connection to the sun and other celestial objects. We got our pole lines that come off the north and south pole, and they're supposed to stretch out towards the back, and they, for the most part right now, they are. And then we got these closed field lines. Those commit that, when you get a closed field line and it's doing kind of crazy stuff, it takes quite a bit to achieve that. So what I'm talking about up here, watch what happens. Number one, here's that tilt, right? I'm going to show you guys as I go through time here, it's going to tilt back to straight at the sun. What that means is that most likely we're getting a higher energy flow from the sun at that time. Because that's what it does. Usually our magnetic field will react in that way. But also watch how this yellow goes away, and then this red actually will compress all this because we're getting hit in the front. Okay, you see how it's straightened up right there? So let me back it up. We'll watch it again. It does it really quick. Alright. I'll leave my cursor right here, the bottom of it. Watch how far it moves. See that? And then look what happens. This heat is wrapping around. Okay, it's trying to get in. And we're getting hits, little ones. Now again, in a perfect world, the IMF lines, the blue ones, should be straight up and down all the way across here and not broken. But they're broken. It's like stepping up on a ladder and the top rung breaks and all of them break at the same time. That's kind of what it looks like Chevy Chase in Christmas Vacation. Anyway, so we go to this, and then you see the IMF lines start doing some crazy stuff, and then you see these closed field lines stretch out really far behind us. And again, look here. You see what's going on here? We're getting hit in the front pretty good. But the Earth's doing its job, doing her job, and, deflecting all this stuff because it's not showing up on the geomagnetic activity graphs. So that means we're deflecting it. It's not getting in. But do you see that? Okay. Now, we got IMF lines out here in the front flipping around. That's strange. I've talked about this before. See how it's flipping around right out in front of us? Only thing that could cause that, guys, is magnetic activity. And it's out here in the front, and it looked like it might have been, kind of at an angle here. So if I go here, and there's, like I said, guys, I don't go too much into this because there's so many theories on what's going on here. You know, a lot of times even talking about this will start fights. And I try not to do that. So I'm just going to show you the observation. You guys make up your own mind on what you believe here. But everything does seem to be, you know, kind of doing something here. Something is different. I'll just say that. But you see how that's happening? We really shouldn't be seeing that. Okay? That's where we're at currently. So if we go over here and we look at the solar wind one, you're going to see stuff similar, okay? Notice that we're going to have an anomaly here. Remember the bird? Here? Okay? It's going to show up here too. See? See how it's different? It even shows up on this one over here too. Watch. It's not up here, just here. So something's different there, guys. And look out in front here. You know, it really should never look like that. You know? See how we're kind of spinning here? So I don't know what's causing that. Notice down there in that spot again. Now watch what happens here. It's almost like we get kind of like an earth discharge here, but it starts here. And then it shoots out. Watch. See that? Right there. I'll go forward now. Now watch it. Okay? Now, it looks like we did get hit in the front at the same time, so it's probably what pushed that on out. But something was happening right there. I don't know what, but it doesn't look like it's severe or anything. It's just something that looks odd, not normal. Okay, here is the Australian model, guys. Here's the density here, speeds here. Okay, you're going to see this thing jumping around a little bit. Now notice how the speed jumped from like 200 to 500 there for a second. That was a little bit of a hit. But notice what happened after that. It's below 300 and it's not coming off of that. But the density will go up, watch. See how it's rising? And it's not like just flashing at us. It's actually rising steadily and holding its position as the speed itself stays below 300 kilometers per second. Okay? Just to give you a rough idea, 400 kilometers per second roughly translates to 1,000,000 miles per hour. Okay? That's a rough estimate. You can get a converter and do the math on that if you want. But, you know, once you start looking at this, you'll understand what looks normal and what's not. Sometimes I'll put miles per hour in a thumbnail. That way people can see it. And they might say, wow, man, that sounds kind of fast. I'll pop in there and check out this video. And it's true. It's fast wind. I don't represent anything in my thumbnails that's not true. You know, with the miles per hour, people seem to understand that better. It doesn't mean a whole lot to them if you tell them kilometers per second. They don't know what that is. Most people don't. Here's the CME tracker. Again, here's that CME. But it blew off the backside. We've had other ones happening. I just showed you one. Okay, here's the geoelectric field model. Let me reset that and get the most updated one here as we can. Okay, now this is space weather's effect on our electrical grid. Okay, as you can see, everything died off. Okay, we had a little bit of activity. It'll probably increase here towards the end a little bit because our density raised up a little bit. And it did. We've seen a couple of hits there. Alright. Now seeds. Let's take a look at this. Okay, now what you're seeing, this is confirming that filament I showed you, remember on the northern part, this is showing it leave. I'm going to show you what I mean. The occulter here is black, right? And what this is for people that don't know, you have to have this to block the main light of the sun. If you don't have this on the camera, you won't get an image at all. You'll just be flooded with light and it'll be overexposed and won't be able to give you no image at all. That's why this is here. Now, this is not the surface of the sun. This is actually the corona that it's trying to cover up. This white circle over here is. Okay, so that's the difference here. Watch here on the end, you'll see a jet shoot up. Okay, it just happened right there. Let me back it up. Watch right in here. Now, you guys see that? I seen that earlier, guys. I think what that is, okay, you can see how it's bigger over here, because that's what this tool does. When it sees something bright, it actually will put a gray box over it on this particular part of it. That most likely is some sort of an asteroid or a meteorite, because we're in that meteor shower right now. Okay? Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be out by the sun. If this thing is out by the sun, the thing is huge. Okay? It's not, I don't think. When we're looking at this occulter, it is on the camera, on the satellite, which is roughly 93 million miles away, well, about 92, from the sun. So anything that's in front of that occulter, we don't know the depth of it. I can't tell you if it's by the sun, if it's closer to the satellite, if it's somewhere in the middle, if it's up my butt and to the left. I can't tell you. We don't know. We don't have depth here. Only thing we can do is go look at stereo A and hope that it's seen it too, and we can get a sideways view. And I can tell you right now we can't, because the data is not updating on stereo A. And I'll show you that here in a minute. But see how that goes back to normal, but we got a little jet right here. Okay, watch what happens. See it showing up right here? So I think what's going on here, that filament released, okay? And if it's coming right at us, most of it's going to be behind this occulter. But we'll still see it kind of poking its head out with jets like that. I think that's what happened, guys. Okay? Now, obviously I can't tell you for sure until we get like a CME tracker update on it. Or we wait and see when it hits our detector. We got days to look at this. It'll take it at least 3 days to get here. So just know that. It's nothing to be like freaking out about. I'm going to show you this real quick. Okay, this is stereo A. Notice the timestamp, 224, 254, 154. We get 3 captures for the whole day on the 16th. You kidding me? So what I'm going to do, we'll go back here and we'll check YESWA. Okay, because that's the same camera here. Let's see what it gives us. It's giving us something more here anyway. You can see where it's going at least to the 1600 hour. Oh, look at that. See that? I bet you that was that meteorite. I bet you. I bet it caught it. I bet that's what that was. That was sizable enough that it picked it up like that. Let me zoom in here just to double check. Sometimes those can be reflections of the camera, but with that being that dim and that shape, I don't think it is. I think that's probably an object of some sort. It's not round or anything like that, so it's kind of giving the signature that it might be moving. But it does not have a big long tail on it either. So it's going to be hard to say either way. And it's only there for 1 capture. Regardless, it's not affecting us right now, but I still would love to know what the heck stuff like that is. Okay? So yeah. So we'll wait for seeds to update this side over here. Maybe tomorrow they'll drop all that data back in there. They do that a lot. Maybe it'll show up and we can take a look at it tomorrow and see what's up. Okay, spaceweather.com. Listen, guys, look at this. 50 fireballs. That's a lot. Okay? So what we'll do, we'll go back one... Oops. We'll go back one day and we'll see what it tells us how many fireballs we had yesterday. $50, so still the same. We just turned the day over, that's why it's doing that. So let's go back to the 15th here. Because right now where I'm at, it's still the 15th. The 16th, I mean. Okay, so we had 26 that day. And if we go back another day, it's probably even lower. It was hanging out around like 9 or 10 a day. But we know right now they've missed a lot of fireballs or a lot of meteorites. So I'm not really trusting it that much. So this, yeah. I mean, it's not like way above normal here, but the 50 is. Okay? That's significant number there, guys. But we are in that meteor shower, okay? So let's go to 17 here. And this is something, see, we're in the Leonid meteor shower. They're expecting 15 to 20 of them an hour on the 17th, which is tonight. But it says on the morning of the 17th. So like right now. Right now for the next 4 or 5 hours, I would say. Maybe even into 7 or 8 hours from now. But what this is showing you is, this is showing you the Atlas comet. One of the Atlas comets. Okay? There are so many Atlas comets. You know, so when we talk about these, we got to know the number. And that's the number there. Alright? But it passed, it was kind of in the same area of space as Bellatrix. Okay? That's a big blue star there. And then, you know, that's kind of a rare thing to see that. Those two right next to each other. It's pretty cool. Now, guys, look, no sunspots. It did break that stretch. But we're still at a 13% increase in activity in 1 year. And that's probably going to get, you know, even more so if these things, because right now, where was I at here? Right now, we got this area here, but they're not official sunspots. That's why this whole activity evaluation of when the solar cycle is kind of a little wrong, because we're still seeing activity here. So we can't just look at the solar cycle itself and the amount of sunspots to talk about how active things are. We can't just lean on the number itself and just keep moving. No, we have to see this stuff too. Because like I just showed you guys with this filament, I'm gonna update this real quick, and we'll take a look at it again. With this filament popping off, there was nothing up here. No sunspots, nothing. Okay? But again, we got solar rain over here. But here's that filament. You see that? Anytime you see these things sticking up, those are filaments. That's plasma coming off the surface of the sun. And it's traveling on those magnetic connection lines. Okay, you can see the looping better on like this one. And I explained to you what causes that loop. We got magnetic field lines on the sun, right? Vertical. Well, the sun rotates faster closer to the equator than what it does on the poles. So it actually takes those magnetic field lines and pulls them horizontal. Alright? So when it does that, it slowly keeps winding and winding and winding, and every once in a while it'll get like a kink in it, like a rubber band, like if you're twisting a rubber band, and this thing will pop through the surface of the sun. That's what you're seeing. you're seeing the magnetic field lines popping through here and giving a road for the plasma to travel on. That's what you're seeing when you're looking at this stuff. Okay? So, you know, and there's the alpha and the omega effect. We'll talk about that some more later, not tonight. But yeah, so we had this over here that erupted. That was I didn't really expect to see that when I popped this over here. But we'll take a look at this again. I want to see that erupt. Let's see what this does on this one. Imagine it's pretty significant. Okay, that one's not showing it too much. Sorry I got quiet there for a minute, guys. It'll probably show up here pretty well on the 211. This stuff kind of shows up pretty good on the purple view. You can see it happen right there. So I'm going to bring it back and I'm going to push play. Watch right in here. See that pop? That was definitely a CME, guys. Okay, that thing flared, CME, it blew. Okay, it definitely blew out that way. Now, it's not coming our direction, it doesn't look. It's too far off on the side. But look up here. This is more activity. This is what's coming around to our facing Earth. Okay? So we have to pay attention to that. Anyway, what I want to show you guys is they've added more near-Earth objects. Okay? Do you guys see this one? 1.5. That was not there yesterday. They missed this one again. Now we have a 1.1 due on the 18th. Plus there's other ones that they plugged in here, guys. You know, the 0.7, I'm not sure if that was even there yesterday. I can't remember. But the fact is, they're adding things when they see them. So that means that they didn't see this thing when it came and left. So they missed it. Now, again, when you're seeing stuff like this, it kind of gives you an idea of how stuff can get missed. You see what I'm getting at, guys? I couldn't imagine the job that would be to try to figure that stuff out. And be any kind of confident about it at all. Power outages? Yeah. This come from the storms yesterday, guys. This power's still out. They still got 106,000 people in Michigan without power. That's a lot. Okay, the earthquake thing. Man, it's still happening. Holy crap. Okay, this just started happening, and I sent this over to Ron. And see the red? That means that happened just very, very recently. Notice they're all here. Nothing going on anywhere else. It was just kind of here earlier. And there was quite a few of them. Let me show you a screenshot that I sent Ron. Okay, see how it was clustering here? That's the West Coast, guys. There's Alaska. There was a decent sized 4 point something here, I think. Hawaii was doing its thing, and nothing else was happening at that time. So when all these things are red, that means they didn't happen too long ago. So that meant that all of these happened virtually at the same time. What would cause that? You know? Is it solar weather? Well, we just looked at stuff and it didn't look like it. Not this time. It could have had an influence on it, but I can't say for sure. Oh, man. Okay, there we go. So, yeah. Now, let me go ahead and I'll try to pull up the Canadian one. I want to start showing that because Menacing really hooked me up there with that. That was I'm so glad she got that over to me. Notice I said she, using the right pronoun now. Here it is, earthquakes in Canada. Wow, look. Guys, like I said, it was here. Look at this. Yeah, guys, I mean, what is going on? I mean, I can't help but say that something has to be happening here. Now, this is the last 30 days. This is a Canadian agency that's doing this, okay? So, this isn't USGS. And, you know, a lot of people like it better that way. But if we look at USGS, we don't see anything here because I don't know why. The Canadians can show it to us, but maybe we don't have access to their stuff. I don't know. But yeah. So obviously, guys, you know, we're having stuff right here. This is the big island of Hawaii. So when we're talking about Hawaii, a lot of us go straight to the volcanic conversation. Rightfully so. But notice how we're getting swarming here. Very significant swarming. Let me back that off a little bit. So that's one day, all magnitudes. Okay, 2.5s. Okay, see, you wouldn't see those earthquakes that I just showed you unless you change it to all magnitudes. We need to know when they're swarming like this. Big swarm here. These are not out of the ordinary to have swarms, but when you see red and then you notice that they're all happening at the same time, that's what's different. This is, you know, this is what I would call regional, globally, you know, if you're talking about the whole globe. For it to only happen right here, I don't understand how that couldn't be something is definitely on the move, okay? But I can't tell you what that is because I don't know. Again, I'm not the earthquake guy, but I can show you what I'm seeing here. It's just observation, okay? Again, I would point you guys over to Ron over at Emergency Management Agency. You know, I've been doing that for a while now with Ricky, and Ricky's over there. Isaiah's granny's over there. That's how I found Ron. And also Dutch, obviously. You know, we can't leave him out of it for sure. So yeah, and that right there was a 3.7 in the Cascadia subduction zone. What does that mean? Well, when this thing flips, or slips, I'm sorry, and does its thing, the whole West Coast will be redefined, just so you know. That's not fear porn, that's nothing else than just simple fact. Everybody knows it's going to happen, they just don't know when. So, yeah. So if we go down here and look in this, I mean, we got stuff in Tennessee, Arkansas, alright? So, you guys doing okay in there? Cool. Cool. Yeah, you know what? I can do that for you guys if you want me to. I was going to do that anyway. The crust is shifting? Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking. I just didn't want to say that because I'm not that confident yet. Ricky, thank you for saying that. Oh, low frequency, huh? Very low frequency in Tennessee. Okay. Yeah. That's significant, guys, when we start seeing that. Ricky can explain that a lot better than I can, but good to see you, Gail. Glad to see you. Hey, Sparky. So I will overlap that for you guys, okay? Let me go back to that, and I'll see if I can't overlap it. Are you on the overlap of the earthquakes? Is that what you were saying? Sorry. Who was asking me about that? I forget. Somebody fill me in here. What do you guys want me to overlap? Just curious. Oh, the Canadian and the... Okay, I got you. I'm with you now. Sorry. Yeah, I had a little bit of a... Yeah. I guess you call that a brain fart. What I'll do here, guys, I don't have I don't have the software to do that right here. But what I can do is do this. Let's try this. Hold on. Pull it out here on its own. I'll shrink it up. How about that? And we can look at it at least side by side to get a better idea of what's going on. Let me... I'll pin that one. Okay, this is probably the best I'm going to be able to do for you guys, so you guys get an idea of what's actually happening here. Let me... Yeah. So we pull that over here. Can you guys see what we're looking at here, guys? I know it's not perfect, but this would be here. Okay? That's what USGS isn't showing us right now. So, yeah. So hopefully that helps you guys see what I'm talking about here. Everything was here. So, you know, and if we look at that on a larger scale, if we extend it out to here, what am I doing here? That's a triangle. I mean, I don't know how the pressure's moving, and if the plate's moving, like Ricky was saying, you know, maybe it's shifting. Again, the whole thing would have to be moving to cause all that at the same time. So whatever's happening there, I don't know, you know. It could be a whole range of things. Are they showing a lot more activity, Ricky, right now? I would imagine. You know what, guys? I do have a link to those. Let me unpin that. And put that back down here. Here's the seismos right now. Yeah, Wolfie, I got it turned down to all magnitudes. There's Panama, obviously, but that's in China. Huh. That's kind of strange. What did we, Here's China, guys. Wow. Nothing there. Obviously, they're probably not showing it to us for whatever reason. The seismos are picking it up. That's Alaska. Okay? See that? And I don't know how to read these very well. So I can't really tell you technically what we're actually You know, Ricky was talking about very low frequency earlier. I know what that is because she told me. um, but I don't know how to read it on these seismos. But there is the Solomon Islands. That is, I believe, that's not the Solomon Islands. Where is the Solomon Islands? Isn't it over here? Or is it closer, or is that the ones over here? I can't remember. Yeah, Carolyn, when stuff happens over here in China, it is so I just don't. Yeah, Ricky is. She's definitely, she's so, yeah. I ain't got nothing but respect for her knowledge of what we're seeing here. Really, seriously. And thank you, Missy, for telling her that. Because, people need that sometimes, because it does let them know that they're having a positive effect on others. And it can really help people. Just little stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know why this, it's showing up on the seismos, but it's not showing any kind of earthquake here. We can see the China one up here. That's what we were talking about up here. How far up is it? Just so we can see it. Here. That's China also. But again, I don't know how to read these seismos very well. So yeah. I don't know. Menacing, I really don't. Oh, is MJ, is he predicting one? So yeah. Yeah, it's USGS. So, that's where I get kind of confused, guys. Maybe you guys can help me on this one. Because we're looking at it on the seismos here. And then, we use the same system. Because these are both USGS, but it's not showing anything here. I don't, I don't know, It's the same, the same agency's putting out this data on both of these, but it's showing up on one and not on this one. That I don't get, So, yeah, I think that this is closed off quite a bit, guys. I mean, I think obviously we're not going to get everything out of that country. I mean, it's just a fact. Can I point to it and tell you 100% each time it does it and be 100% confident that that's what happened? No, I can't. I don't have any way to kind of like show everybody or have anything to kind of back that. I'm just showing you the observations here, and this is what I'm seeing. And again, showing it here but not here. Why? I don't understand that part. So yeah. Yeah, so again, guys, I'm not the earthquake guy. I wish that I could have all the answers for everybody. I just don't. Not on this at all. Again, just showing you the observation. Hey, what's up, Hilly? How you guys doing? Yeah, I mean, we got, just because USGS isn't reporting it here, we still have access to go look at the Canadian stuff. So that really doesn't bother me. Maybe they don't give USGS permission to use their stuff. I don't know. But we have other avenues to go look at that stuff, so we know it's happening. I don't know why they wouldn't share that information between themselves, but I don't have a good answer for you there. But yeah. Hey, Jay, man, what's up, bud? I ain't seen you in a minute. Wolfie's in here too. Cool. Raven, cool. Oh, what's going on, Tyler? I'll give you a little quick one here. We just had like a bunch of earthquakes happen right about the same time right here in this area. Just on the west coast out to Hawaii. And I'm just trying to show it to you guys, and Ricky was trying to help us understand, it could be the plate slipping, moving a little bit. But that's a wide area, so I obviously would have to be moving the whole thing, I would think. But oh, it's bigger than tectonic. Wow. Okay. Wow. But that's what we're talking about right now. Who was asking me that? Give him a little update. Oh, tired mama. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. I mean, we had a filament over here kind of release off on the sun. That's really the main thing we were talking about, that and this. So also we had another one pop off over here too. Again, those are probably, that one over there is probably not going to amount to a whole lot of anything. But the one that came at us, you're distracted? Yeah, so I mean, you guys got any more questions or anything? Maybe I could. Thanks, Tired. I appreciate you. Really do. You're multitasking? What are you doing? Yep, I agree with that. Christine! Guys, you guys really need to go check out her videos. She puts up some really good photography. It's, she does a good job with that. Minison! What do we say? They say if the Three Valley Gorge Dam breaks, it could affect the speed of the Earth's rotation. Really? Wow. That much water would be moving, huh? Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, I think we would be, complacent if we didn't take in consideration what Johnny Doom said there with that particle collider. Oh, hold on. MJ, you sent me something, didn't you? I think I got it. Did you already send it? I'll have to go look at it. Was that the comet pics? Didn't you send me the comet pictures? Oh, Johnny, my sister's okay, but my mom's kind of still. Yeah, if you guys don't know, my mom and my sister got diagnosed with the global illness. Wasn't you? I need to show those because those are really cool. So yeah. Alright guys, well, let's do this. Let's This is Mark. You guys know Marky Mark, right? So I'm going to go hang out with him, Mark over here, and everybody else. I would encourage you guys to do the same. Let me drop the link in here for you guys. And I think that people are starting to realize that, you know, the Wages World family we got going on here is the same as the Mark Pyers, because almost all of us go over there anyway. And if you guys haven't been over here yet, please come over here and at least check it out. Do yourself a favor, because it's not about anything other than just having a good time with each other and getting away from all this stuff I just talked about. You know, we need that break. We need to defrag. And I'm telling you right now, this guy's like the task manager on your computer. He can defrag all that negative stuff pretty quick like. Yeah, check out J-Man's channel too, guys. Hilly's got a channel too. Verte's got a channel. Sparky, you got your channel up and going, or are you doing that at all? I can't remember. Missy? Yep. I don't think you have a channel though, do you? Can't remember. But here's his link again, guys. Do me a favor, please. Come over here with me just for 15-20 minutes. Give it a chance. You know, I'll turn the volume back on here. He's got something he calls the beat seat. And he's sitting basically on a percussion instrument. And he can play it with his feet. See it down here? And what he does is he does all this and he's looping at the same time. It takes a lot of stuff going on there at once. He's kind of like a one-man band, but also he does a lot of face swaps. He does a lot of, you know, celebrity impersonations, all that kind of stuff, guys. So yeah. Oh yeah, guys. I'm not sure if I think I showed it to you guys already. Hold on 1 second here. Let me get this up here. You know, when you guys were donating on PayPal, and thank you so much for that. Again, I'm so humbled you guys would even want to do that and ask me to do this. You know, at the same time, and it really does help. I'll just say it. You know, it does. But that's not what my channel's about. I just want you guys to know that. And, you know, my content's never going to change. Nobody's expected to do any of this. But if you're going to, you know, like donate to the PayPal stuff, you know, leave a little message and give me your name. I'll never put your full name out here. If you could just like put your YouTube name in there, it'd be a lot easier so I can put it here and give you guys thanks for this, because I'm not going to let it go unsaid. I can't tell you how much it is so... It's awesome that anybody, you know, guys, I got people in my own personal life that I physically see every day that doesn't care about me to the level that a lot of you guys do. And it's humbling. You know, and I feel the same way about you guys. I really do my best to interact with you guys, try to answer comments, try to get to the emails, and do all that kind of stuff. And I don't expect anything. I promise. That's just not what I do. You know, and don't get me wrong. I really appreciate this, because it does help me. Okay? It is a blessing to me when stuff like this happens. And, you know, like I said, my PayPal link is in the description. You know, so if you wanted to do that, you can. Some people were asking me to put the P.O. box in there, and I did. So if you guys don't want to do the the electronic thing, or if you want to, you know, I see a lot of YouTubers like doing like unboxing videos and stuff. If somebody was to send me something there, I would definitely do it online. You know, open it up in front of you guys, let you guys check it out. I just can't say enough how humbled and how appreciative I am of what you guys do. You guys have helped me way more than I've helped anybody here. I keep learning every day, and most of it comes from you guys. And I said this before, this keeps my mind, you guys in this channel that I'm doing here, keeps my mind from straying back to old habits from 7 or 8 years ago when I had a pill addiction. Okay? You know, I haven't relapsed. I've never really relapsed, and I give that credit to my family and my wife, which is my best friend. Because she loved me enough to accept the mistake, but then she held me accountable afterwards. And I knew that. And that's what makes a good spouse. They're willing to make you feel bad so you do the right thing. So, you know, that's kind of what, and I say all that because it really does. That's really what this channel has done for me. I've made so many friends, so many great people. It just, you know, I get kind of emotional when I talk about it, so I apologize. I don't try to get that way. It's just who I am. But I do. I really do appreciate you guys. I wish I could show it more in a better way. You know, I don't even have, like, you know, I see a lot of people, they got, like, studios and stuff. They're doing their YouTube channel because they do it for a living. Right? I don't. But I do want to have my own space. I don't have that in my house. So, you know, anything that's getting donated right now, that's exactly what this is probably going to go to. I want to try to get my own little space. I think I'm going to share the room with my wife that she does her sewing and stuff in. But I'm going to try to get a couple different screens and kind of get a better setup. And me and Mark Pyers, we're going to be starting another channel. At least right now, that's what we're talking about. And the basis of this channel is going to be nothing but positivity. We'll bring you heartfelt reports on positive stuff. We're going to try to have people come on with their stories and share things. It's going to be nothing but positive stuff. Negative stuff can hit the road, it can kick rocks, it could be down the street. But it won't come where we're at. So, that's something that the internet in this world, frankly, is missing. There's not too many people out there that want to just report on nothing but something positive. Because you're not going to get that from any other news source. You're not going to get that from any other channel. You know, if it's going to be about, you know, showing people how you can pick yourself up, sharing your testimonies, we'll have anybody on that wants to come on probably and share what they got to say. Because it can benefit all of us to know what they went through and how they made it through it. And how we can still choose to be positive and choose to be happy. Because it is, guys, it's a choice. So, and I said all that just so you guys know that I really appreciate you. And I said all that even before this, okay? I finally, you know, I pushed back against this for over 2 years. Everybody was telling me to do it. I mean, everybody. And I pushed back, and guys, this is a blessing. It really is. And I hope you guys know how much I do appreciate it. So, but, if you really want to go with me here, yeah, come over here with me. All right? This is where we're going to go.
She'll tell you different, but she's holding out on me. She's holding out on me.
So, there you go, guys. Please come over here and let's go have a good time, hang out. And I'll be in the chat. Okay? Be over here hanging out with you guys. I do it every night. So, if you can, give it a chance. So, appreciate all you guys. I'll give you guys, you know, my video this morning, by the way, I kept it short. And I'm going to do that every time from now on in the morning. So, God bless. Come over and visit with us over here. Yahusha saves, and